Hey, greetings, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Tech Tip Tuesday. My name is Ken Close, Healy World member, USA, lover of the technology, engineer, and diver deep into the quantum field. um,
Yeah.
I'm I'm super excited to host this call, and I'm joined by an amazing couple of co-hosts, the head of operations, Jake Barron, live from Orlando, Florida. Hey, Jake, how are you?
Great, Ken. Thank you so much. Happy to be back on Tech Tip Tuesday.
Welcome back from his travels. You just got back from Germany too, didn't you?
Yeah, I was over at the one of the main Healy World offices over in Germany last week. Had a lot of great meetings and super excited for what's coming next. So,
Ooh, I bet you got some secrets. Awesome. Well, welcome. Thanks for being here. And we're also joined by our amazing Henry Pena, our head of onboarding for Americas, right? Welcome, Henry.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being here. So it's always a great pleasure having the corporate support on the field questionnaire, right? So Tech Tip Tuesday is a space, guys, where you guys come in and put your questions in the chat, and then we will unpack those questions, open those questions, dive deep into those questions, and obtain all of the answers and solutions and even ideas we can come up with, right, guys?
that's
That's
right.
correct.
That's right.
That's
And
correct.
we've got giveaways today. So yeah,
And,
this is
today,
not a regular Tech Tip Tuesday. This is our quarterly celebration, our summer celebration this time of the year too. So we're gonna have, of course, answer lots of questions, but we're gonna have some extra fun today.
exactly, guys. So you're on a special event today. As Jake said, this is the summer celebration where you guys that have been Tech Tip Tuesday enthusiasts have been around for a while, know the history, know some answers to some trivia questions, are going to win prizes. Who knows what kind of questions? I mean, I don't even know, by the way, you guys.
Oh,
So Jake's got them tucked away, hidden over here.
yeah.
So we'll find out what they are. Um, but you guys that are new, hey, this is a special occasion. The way that this works is you guys put your questions into the chat. And then, like I said, we unpack those guys. And sometimes we go down some serious quantum rabbit holes, and that's a lot of fun. So buckle up. What we can't do, guys, is we can't talk about the prevention, the treatment, or the diagnosis of any medical conditions. That's not what we're here for. I'm not a doctor. Jake's not a doctor. Henry's not a doctor. We're guys here that are very passionate about this technology, very clear on how it works, and want to share that opportunity with you guys. So, if that all makes sense, everybody, let's get this party started. How about that?
Yeah, let's get the questions going here, and we'll do the giveaways kind of spread out throughout the whole call here. One in the begin near the beginning, one sort of in the middle point, and one to close the call.
Yahoo!
And Doc Steve's here too. Nice.
What up, Doc? Woohoo!
Good to see
Hello,
you.
Dr. Steve.
Welcome, sir. So glad you're here.
Doc
Look at
Steve.
Michaela's
Oh,
always
Oh,
Michaela's already saying, "Do
yeah,
tell,
that's
do tell." Uh, I think that's in reference to the secrets from
there we
Germany.
go. I think it should be good now.
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
good. Thank you.
Doc
There.
Steve, you came just to win some giveaways, didn't you? I think that's the.
No, I came to if you needed me for any kind of questions that somebody might have or
All
to
right.
get feedback, that's why I'm here.
Okay.
Usually I
Thank you.
have patients at this time, and I looked last night when Ken posted, and I said, "Oh, cool, I'm open. I can come
Nice.
do this." So I said, I'm doing this." So as you know, I'm always available if you ever need me to go over anything. So I'm here.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for being here.
You're
All
glad.
right.
There are no coincidences, right? Right, brother. Hey, good to see you,
Oh,
Doc.
good seeing you, Ken.
Oh, okay, so yeah, Michaela drops a little hint there. Do tell Jake any hints, anything you want to bring back from your journey to Germany?
No, actually, well, yes and no, but no, nothing I can share specifically on this call. It was actually my first time over in Germany
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, I've been with Healy for 4.5 years now, but the first opportunity to spend a week with the team there. Of course, we have 2 offices in Germany. There's one in Berlin and there's one in Mainz, which is near Frankfurt. And I was in the Mainz office last week. But
So
yeah,
you really
actually,
get a chance to interface with Marcus a lot because he's more in the Berlin office.
yes, that's correct. But I feel very honored to have had the opportunity to have a one-on-one dinner with Martin Whitman last week, which was very cool. I felt like I was meeting my famous, person there in person. So we got such great people behind the Healy, the company and the products and the devices too, that really care so much about really just pushing this and moving things forward and really helping benefit as many people as possible. So yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I
You know,
was lucky, guys, when we were at the Mexico VIP retreat. The last day I was there, Marcus invited me to have a private lunch, breakfast with him,
Uh-huh.
one-on-one, and it was wonderful because I was the guy I felt that needed to do this since nobody else tended to want to do it. I sat down with him for an hour and I told him everything that I thought needed to be changed in terms of the way Healy was being promoted and stuff. And interestingly enough, within 2 weeks after that meeting with him, and he said to me basically, you got to realize I'm focused 99% of my time on research, development, Healy, and in the castle and stuff. I don't get involved with any of the business side of Healy. So I really am not that in touch as much as you would think I would be. And so when I started telling him some of the things, he was like, "You're kidding me, you're kidding me." And I said, "No, this is the way things have been going on." And 2 weeks later, after that conversation, I already saw changes in terms of things that he must have talked
Yeah,
to, somebody and implemented some stuff. So he's really wonderful because he's so
yeah,
open to everything, and he's really humble, and he's so great to be around. And I've had a couple of experiences where I've had one-on-ones with him, and I mean, just a joy is all I could say. Just a
yeah,
joy.
yeah.
we have some pretty incredible scientists. Well, Marcus himself. What I don't think a lot of people really realize is that the science that actually goes behind Healy. It's not just in this decade, nor this century, by the way, folks. I mean, Nikola Tesla talks about it. Albert Einstein talks about how we're able to tap into the infinite field, and I mean, it's been around for so long, and yet science is kind of dabbling here and there, but Healy didn't dabble. Marcus did a deep dive and continues to research. And we, by the way, folks, are the audience, and a lot of times that we can participate in these studies. If you guys get an email and you're asked to, hey, take part in a study, there's a very specific reason for that. It's pretty easy. Questionnaire on the beginning, do some things in the middle, questionnaire at the end. That's it. And that research helps to develop and guide the technology and then give validation in the field. So keep an eye on your email, folks. Get
And
involved.
Ken, to tag on to what you said, it even goes back beyond that. I always say when I talk about Healy that it started 5,000 years ago
Oh,
with the
yeah.
Chinese and acupuncture.
Yeah.
That's the original, energy medicine is acupuncture. And another tag onto this, which will be really interesting for you guys, is that so I started seeing an acupuncture again. I used to see an acupuncturist years ago because one of my closest friends was an acupuncturist. We traded all the time. She moved to Florida, so I didn't have an acupuncturist. I finally
Yeah.
found somebody here. I went to see him. The first time I just let him do his thing. The second time I used the MagHealy. I ran the Meridian program on him, and I wrote down specifically all the acupuncture points that it recommended for that day. And so he does my pulses, and I say to him, "Oh, I'd like you to needle the following 6 points." And I read the points off. And he goes, "How did you know that?" Those are
That's
the
awesome.
points. How did you know that? And I said to him, "Well, I have this device and it does a scan and it tells me what points." And he's looking at me like, "Seriously?" So the next week I go in and I run myself in the morning right before I go in, and I say to him, "All right, so these are the 6 points I want you to run on me again." And again, he looks at me and he says, "Those are the points. How did you do that? So I finally,
Wow.
Love it.
brought the MagHealy in because I said to him, not only do I want you to do the session, but I want to run my MagHealy running those points while you're needling me. I also want the extra juice from the energy of doing that. And so what do you think happened the next week? He wants to buy a MagHealy for his
There you
office.
go. There you
So, but for me, it was about more than anything else. It was, now I finally had an independent person able to test and tell me that the results from the MagHealy were accurate in terms of that. Not that I needed to know that, but it's a nice sense of confidence when
Yeah.
somebody says to you,
Yeah.
man, how did you do that? Those are the points. So
Yeah.
just wanted to put that out to the world that the MagHealy, the Meridian program is really something that is you should be
Yeah.
doing on a regular basis.
Yeah. As
You
Laura
know,
said in the chat, phenomenal
phenomenal story,
story.
right? You know, here's another thing to consider too, folks, that and not just the folks in the audience here, but who's going to listen to this down the road, is that when you have a practice, doesn't matter what your practice is, you are the expert, right? You're the expert. You have great knowledge, great skills, but in every case, you bring a subjective perspective to the table. Healy is an objective perspective. There's no personality behind the technology. There's just the quantum field. It's just information. And in the quantum field, information is it's not male, female, right, wrong, good, bad. It's just information. And so we place meaning on this information. That meaning we place on that information makes it kind of subjective to us as a personality type or trait or belief structure. And it becomes less than, not that it's not effective, it's just there's more to it. And so I love what you say, Doc, because the Meridian program is so powerful. If you guys have not seen it, it will blow your mind. I mean, it's not like a quick little thing. It's so elaborate. And the graphics and the things that's going on, that you can almost feel it kind of taking a look, it's like going through your body and you're like, wow, who's in here with me?
I mean, I think every acupuncture student should have that program because they have
Yes.
to learn the meridians and the points. And what a better way than to visually
Yes.
see it go through and, be able to do that. And in talking about what you just said about the subjective versus objective, that's why Marcus always says that it's really important to start your session with an intention. Because when you set that intention at the beginning, it really shifts what's going to happen in that session.
True story. True story. So guys, with that in mind, think about when you're doing a scan on yourself, right? You're using the blue app, the Heal Advisor Analyze 2, and you're doing a scan on yourself. Okay. Now some people are doing this every day. I personally don't do it every day. I want to, it doesn't give the biology enough time to catch up to the information or the changes you're trying to make. Give your body time. It's something in its mass in space and time. Okay. But when you do that, it is an objective observer. It is not your mind. It is not even someone else's mind. It is a collective mind. It is the information field. It's all possibility at your fingertips. And then it narrows down all possibility. Now, when I say all possibility, don't just think about what's possible in your city or your state or your country or your planet. We're talking about all possibility. And our genetic code, folks, is so adaptable, so malleable, so expansive that even things we haven't dealt with yet are available in the genetic code to be dealt with. And Healy is looking at that from that level of consciousness and even preparing you to whatever's coming, not just taking care of what's happening now, but what's happened in the past, all the way through eternity. So I can't tell you enough about how awesome that analysis is, and it gives validation. If you're a practitioner, Doc, how often do you use that for analysis for other people? You're muted, buddy.
Let's see if I can help him out.
How often do I use I had to mute it because my dog was barking. I didn't want it to in the background.
Yeah, how often do you use the Heal Advisor Analyze 2 for anybody?
Well, I have a time waiver. So honestly, Ken, when people come into my office,
Unfair question.
I use the time waiver on them.
Yeah.
If I didn't have a time waiver, I would use the Blue app on the Healy, but since I have the time waiver, which is a little bit more sophisticated, I use that.
So you guys who don't know what Time Waiver is, it's the parent company to Healy, by the way, if you haven't dove into that, but it's the parent company to Healy. Marcus created that company and then wanted to make sure everybody could have a wearable, personable system of their own. And that's where Healy was born. But yet the resources that Healy has is as elaborate as Time Waiver is. It's given to you in digestible pieces. if you were handed the Time Waiver in your lap right now, you'd be like,
took me a while. Even having had a Healy for a number of years, it still took me a learning curve to really understand how to, manipulate the Time Waiver and get that to work. And of course, those of you out there who know that you can always request an expert program, and basically you'll see it on your Healy if you've looked around. And what an expert program basically is a program that's designed by a time waiver practitioner for a specific health condition that you're dealing with. So the way I like to look at it is that the Healy has more generalized frequencies, and when you have an expert program, they are specific frequencies for that particular condition. So therefore, when you're running the Healy, you're only pulling in those frequencies. It gets to be a lot more targeted. And I find that for people that have, like I said, specific health conditions, it allows them to speed through that process a little quicker than they would if they were just using, a Healy alone with the generalized programs.
Good to know all the background. And yeah, we are very lucky to have, the Time Waiver as that sort of parent company, because we benefit immensely from that relationship there too, as far as all the programs, the modules, and things that do come. That's one of the huge advantages that Healy has over other people that are operating in this sort of frequency space too, as well.
I mean, I don't see how they could have come up with a Healy if they didn't have the time waiver first.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
It follows from it. It's like I always tell people, it's like a mini time waiver, basically, because it is doing similar things. One other thing I wanted to throw in there that I think is very exciting that many people probably, maybe even you guys, don't know yet, but I heard from Marcus yesterday, and just to let you know, he's completed a book on Healy. So there's a book coming out very shortly that's going to talk all about the Healy, all about how it works, the science behind it, and everything else.
How it came to life and all that kind of stuff,
and also everything about it scientifically. And it's going to be released. He's in the process, but he said that it's going to be released very soon. So that's real exciting because we've never really had a book about the Healy per se.
Yeah. Another book to add to the collection, the Marcus Schmieke collection.
When it comes to self-healing products out there, folks, when it comes to, I don't know, whatever it is, maybe it's a new smoothie, maybe it's a new bracelet, or it's a new nothing out there compares to the information available that Healy presents. Marcus has done such an amazing job in diving deep into science and then proving it. Again, he's a scientist. What do scientists do? They prove stuff. That's all they are always doing. And the cool thing about Marcus, if you guys didn't know, not only is he a quantum physicist or quantum scientist, he's also a monk, or was a monk for years, right? And so think about that combination. Spirituality meets science. Right. I mean, all of a sudden you've merged those guys together and you got Marcus. So what a gift, what an asset, right? Because he looks at, and I love his story too. He talks about, as he was diving into the spiritual world, it just created more questions. And then he dives into the scientific world and that creates more other questions. So it's like, it's just keep diving into those worlds and merging them together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I believe he was trained as a physicist first. Then he decided to go off on a journey to India for many years. I think it was 7 years, and start doing his spiritual studying. And in that process, he came to the realization that the reason this all happened was so that he could leave and now put something out there that would merge spirituality and science. And that was the light bulb moment for him. And that's why he left the monkhood.
And that's a lifetime exploration. So he'll never expire. He's like a little kid. He reminds me of a little kid in a man's suit, right? And he just goes out there and gets all deep into stuff. So there's a question in here. Kim is asking, just loving hearing about this, but also gets a message that Meridian's program subscription has expired. Now, there was a trial, right? For that early on, but if it says expired, and I don't recall the details, Jake, you would know more about the Meridian's trial that went on when I would think was first launched, right? But
and some of the specials that have happened over the last 6 months have come along with a 3-month free trial of the Meridian program if you bought the MagHealy. And I think that's what she's probably.
If there's thank you, Annika, for. Yeah, there's no way to buy it on a subscription right now. It's a one-time purchase. We do occasionally run a promo on that particular module where you can save a certain percentage on that too. But it's a lifetime. You buy it once and you have it for a lifetime. There's not a subscription option for it currently too. So, if you're interested now, of course, as Doc Steve mentioned, even at full price, it's well worth the investment for how powerful this module is. There's a reason why it is our most expensive module, because it is so in depth. And once you run, as Ken mentioned, once you run one analysis, you'll see it takes several minutes and go step by step through all these different areas too. But if you want to wait, at some point there could be another promotion available just on this particular module as well. So,
and the two acupuncturists I sold the MagHealy to, both of them were sold on the Meridian program, by the way. So if you know an acupuncturist, if you're using an acupuncturist and you want them to really get into potentially getting a Healy and a MagHealy, you have to have the Meridian program to show them, because it knocks them out. I mean, even the first one I went to that was originally interested in, she had heard about the Healy, but I brought the MagHealy with me to her office. And I said, I really think, besides the Healy, you're really going to want to have this. And she said to me, show me. And I ran the program and she was saying like, oh my God, yes. And she bought both a Healy and a MagHealy on site, right after I showed her.
Well, Doc, you and I were at a special conference in California with Marcus, and he spoke about meridians. Remember? And he talks about, so if you guys aren't familiar with meridians, these are information pathways through the body. And he talks about, there are the common meridians that are known by acupuncture, but he also mentioned and spoke about meridians that are no more than about 1 cell width, small communications pathways to the body in which information transmits throughout and speaks to organs and systems in your body, and their influence and interface with circadian rhythm, with the natural cycles of you. It's incredible. So that opened my eyes a lot, by the way, to meridians, because we may know of specifics, but then there is even minors and then minor of minors. It's incredible.
Yeah. Well, we've been going for hard to believe almost a half an hour already. This has been awesome conversation. We'll continue this type of topic. Of course, our questions come in, we'll answer them. But let's go to the first giveaway. What do you think about that?
I'm in.
All right. Let me share my screen, and we will go get your fingers ready. Get ready to type here in the chat. But let me here we go. Share my screen. Make sure. Sorry, just 1 second. Okay, sure. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
There's Tuesday.
Perfect. All right, so let's go with first question. Oh, wrong. Okay.
I see the Tech Tip Tuesday. There you go.
Yeah. So we got a couple options here for anyone that is a winner today. We have the Healy crossbody bag, which is very cool. You can fit a MagHealy in there. You can also fit a Healy device in the small round part there up top. We have our sort of exclusive lanyard cases, which we offer from time to time in some of these giveaways that hold the Healy device with the coil in there as well. These are very cool. And then also, I included a note here. If you're outside of the U.S. and Canada and you win, it's much more efficient and easy to just send one of our digital products. So Healy Program Group, App Module, or Database. So there's a choice here: Plant Power Database, Personal Growth Database, Soul Cycle Program Group, Natural Cycle Module, or Annual Module for lifetime, because that's usually only available as a subscription. But if you're in the US or Canada, you can pick from any of these, including the modules and databases too. But okay, so the first question we have here, Ken, you might be surprised by this one too, but how many episodes of Tech Tip Tuesdays have Ken Close and Jake Barron done together? So we'll give you the 30 seconds here. Put your answer into the chat, and whoever is closest will get to pick from one of these awesome giveaways here. Okay, I got 250, we got 130, 100 from Doc Steve, 160, 268. Okay, what else we got? No, we got 150, 367, 275. Okay, there's some really good guesses here.
88.
88.
Love it.
Okay. And let's do 5 more seconds. Here we go.
Here we go.
5, 4. You can only guess once. 4, 3, 2,
One.
1.
Okay.
Okay. So the answer is 154 episodes. So I believe we had a 160 and a 150, but technically 150 is closer, right? So Claire, Henry 154. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the correct answer. So Claire, I believe you are the winner here. So let us know in the chat what exactly that you want, and then if it's something we need to ship, well, of course, I know your shipping address, but let me just clarify what exactly you want. You can either send it directly to me or to Henry here in the chat, and we'll get that together. And actually, this answer, you look at this, you're like, okay, that's about 3 years. We've actually been doing these more than 3 years, right? So if you go to our YouTube channel, or the Healy World Learning Hub on YouTube, you'll see there's actually exactly 150 episodes of Tech Tip Tuesday that are on there, but that's not every episode that's on there is not me and Ken together. There's been some that Henry and I have done together. We don't do this every single week. There's occasionally weeks that we miss. So really, we're talking around over almost 4 years now of calls. Kind of, you've been doing this for even longer. You're probably at 250 or something like this for Tech Tip Tuesdays. But I joined these starting in September of 2021 as well. And again, some weeks we've missed. Some weeks it was me and Henry, or the case, or Henry and Ken, like it was the last week too. So, but yeah. It's been a lot of episodes, but it's something that we enjoy doing and feel like it's an important resource for everybody in the Healy World community, to whether they join live or whether they just watch the recordings on our YouTube channel. So
it's funny, just yesterday, coincidentally, I was speaking to somebody, and they were saying, well, is there any trainings? And I said, you know what? If you just go to YouTube and take a look at Tech Tip Tuesday, or even if you just go to YouTube and put in Ken Close Healy, and you're going to see a lot of things that I've been involved with. And what popped up was an episode that the brainchild of Tech Tip Tuesday was mine and another one of the field associates, because we were trying to build something for our teams, for the community, for the market, the whole US. Right. And just a way where people could come in and ask questions and we could kind of field them together. And that was back almost 5 years. So it was like right at the beginning, even before Healy hit the market in the US, there was a lot of questions. So it's been quite a fun, yeah. So Izzy just put on there, 2021 with Stephen and Ken. So that's where people were started watching it.
Yeah, but I
But
think you started, Ken, right at the beginning, if you recall, because we needed to do
yep,
something. There was no info out there, and we
Uh-huh.
decided on what was the original What's Up Wednesdays to take a
yep.
portion of that and just answer questions for people that they had. The two of us, with Rick, wound up, answering many of those questions.
It was
Yeah.
great. It was great. It was a great resource. And you know what's interesting, guys? So I teach martial arts, but I was very active for over 2 decades. And one of the biggest things that happens to anybody who becomes, an avenue for information, you become a teacher, you learn yourself, right? You practice, you learn, and you obtain more things because people ask you questions from a direction you hadn't thought before. And I'm sure, Henry, you see this often. People ask you a question, you gotta the information is there within your knowledge base, but you got to kind of direct your answer.
Absolutely. The
From
translation. I mean, it really, every communication that you do, even if it's within the same language, written, verbal, it doesn't matter. It's all a matter of translation. The fact that you understand what's happening here doesn't mean it's gonna be received by the other person accurately. So you really need to try your best to translate. Translation. That's really it. It's translation.
100%.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't see we're getting a lot of questions here. Everybody's just
Well,
like,
Ed, I wanted to one topic here. Let's talk about HighWave for just a little bit. HighWave has been for sure the biggest topic in the Healy World global community over the last few weeks, really, since it launched at the event in Mexico on June 6th. It was, but for those of you that have been very patiently waiting in the U.S. and Canada, the first shipments, around 75% of the pending orders for the US were shipped out last week. I think it was either Wednesday or Thursday that they actually were shipped out. So I know a lot of you that were waiting have received them already. If not, it should be soon. And then there's been a huge demand. I mean, overwhelming demand for this product around the world. Every region is sold out in back order situation as well. If you go to the shops, it's several weeks before. But the manufacturing facility in Germany is running 7 days per week, 2 shifts per day to try to build up the supply. We have shipments leaving every week, going to Japan, going to Korea, going to Singapore, going to Mexico, going to Colombia, going to the US, going to Canada. So there's a lot of demand globally, and we're having to allocate, a little bit here and there to make sure each region gets some, so people aren't waiting as long. And we're going to continue to get new shipments, every week or so in each of these regions until all the pending orders are caught up. But for the US, that should be anyone that still has not, if their order still is not shipped, it'll probably be another week or two before those go out. But by the end of the month, we're pretty much in most regions around the world going to be caught up on all those pending orders as well. But it's a funny story. I'm running my first HighWave program right now. This is the first time I've held the HighWave, and I was in Germany, going from meeting to meeting. I just never had the time to sit down, attach it, hook it up, and run a program. So I'm running cognitive ability right now, actually, one of the MindWave programs as well. So very cool. It's such a convenient accessory. It's not I feel like accessory is not a powerful enough way to describe it. It's much more than just an accessory. Like, it really transforms the Healy experience as far as being able to evenly distribute these frequencies throughout in all cells throughout the entire body. And I know a lot of you saw the video that Kai did with Marcus that was shown on Frequencies and Friends this last month, where you can wear your HighWave on your left arm or right arm, whatever, and then measure the frequency on your other arm, on your waist, on your leg, and it's evenly, the frequency is everywhere, evenly as well. So it's really, it looks pretty simple, but what it's doing is super powerful as well. And I feel like once we get the supply cut up and everyone's using this on a regular basis, I feel like it's going to be, a lot of people, it's going to turn into their go-to way to use their Healy device too, because it's so simple and easy, and you just put it on your wrist and you're good to go, as well. But it's a great, new product as well, and I think it's going to become, again, a favorite for everybody going forward. So,
You know,
But
there's
Jake, let me ask you this. I've been
Yeah.
waiting because I'm hoping all of us that are Obsidian owners are waiting for a black version because,
Yeah.
the black and white, it just makes it stand out more. And if I want to wear it to
Yeah.
like meetings and stuff like that, I don't want that look of the contrast there. I'd rather have something, all in black, which is
Yeah.
so,
Understand, yeah. And I don't have anything I can share as far as a possible Obsidian version. For now, it's the initial launch and trying to get it out there.
mhm.
I do know you can change the band though. It's an 18 millimeter, easy to replace. So you can minimize the amount of white if you want to put a black, silicone band that you can get from anywhere, Amazon, whatnot, as well. It's super easy to swap. But still, yeah, if you wanted a fully, obsidian or fully black sort of look there, it's going to be some time before that would be possible. But yeah, there are a lot of obsidians on the market now as well. But so
So
yeah,
if we
that's
if we talk about, guys, those of you guys are just learning about the Obsidian or haven't even heard about it, what it is. So
uh,
I mean, not Obsidian, but the HighWave. The HighWave takes and allows for a higher frequency carrier wave. Okay, when we're talking about higher frequency, when we get higher up into the millions of hertz, okay, it starts to travel through this medium, a medium, differently. The lower the frequency, the lower or closer to density it's designed to mediate through. So subsonic frequencies are great for underwater, or sonic frequencies because they vibrate the mass, the medium that's in, such as water. AM and FM radio are within the kilohertz and megahertz, right? So they transmit out through the airwaves, and it's line of sight. The higher the frequency, the more it starts to travel around the outer surfaces of things, right? And it allows it to actually penetrate into more density. So when we move the frequency capacity from 1 megahertz to 5 megahertz, now all of a sudden you're able, like Jake said, to see it as a carrier wave of the frequencies that Healy are trying to get to your cells, more omnidirectional and more consistently in coverage. Okay, does that make sense? So it's not designed to replace anything that is already there, such as the microcurrent and the leads. It's just designed, again, to touch everything in a different way. And as Jake said, it's measurable, not just where you're wearing it locally, but globally on the whole body. All right. So there
So
are.
I spoke to Marcus when it first came out, because my question was, which is probably in the minds of many of you, is, Marcus always tells us that it's really important on a daily basis, at least once a day or as many times as you can, to run the microcurrent, because the
yeah,
microcurrent is a separate issue than the frequencies. And that all goes to the cell membrane potential and being able to raise the cell membrane potential. And so I asked him, the first day I heard about this, I talked to him and I said, well, is this going to also transmit microcurrent? And he says, no, it doesn't transmit microcurrent. It only
yeah,
transmits frequencies. You should still run the Healy with microcurrent, obviously, when you can. But what he did say, and I wrote it down, he said, as you were saying, Ken, the wave reaches places the microcurrent never reaches. That's what he told me.
yeah,
Yeah, because the microcurrent, if you have, like I have the wristbands on my left and right wrists, and so the path of least resistance for an electron to travel is how it moves. Okay, so if you were to look at just a straight line from left arm to right arm, what's it look like? Right, straight across my chest. Yes. All right. So the path of least resistance exactly is upper torso. It does not mean that it doesn't go collectively down into the abdominal section or even all the way to your toes. It's just that the amplitude of electron flow is concentrated in the path of least resistance. All right, you're still speaking to globally the entire entity, but if you were to put these wristbands on your ankles, another different pathway, right? So you can do that, or from one wrist, say right wrist to left ankle. Now, walking around in your world is not as easy with the wires connected like that. It's not as convenient. But the point is what you can do is you can change the pathway. Electrons are going to flow. What's an electron? It is part of a molecular structure. Okay, an electron is within every molecule, and its ability to move from one molecule to another molecule is based on potential difference. The attraction of an electron to move from one point to another. There's an attraction. There's a little courtship going on. All right, and it takes energy to do so. And so with the battery in the Healy, that generates the microcurrent, which is the energy to coax and to allow the electrons to flow through the body. That's why you have the adjustability within the intensity. Some of those frequencies are harder to get through the body, so you have to up the intensity to get through. Otherwise, you get no signal. When Healy is measuring whether you're getting a signal or not a signal through the body, what it's measuring is electron flow. And if there's no flow, or actually I should say, if the flow is below a certain threshold, then it gives you that indicator across the screen that frequencies are being transmitted, but no flow is being detected. Okay. So the point here is that now the HighWave, on the HighWave, guys, there's still conductors that touch your skin. On the bottom of that wristband, there's conductors that touch your skin. Okay. And so it's just changing the carrier so that it actually orbits a lot around the outer surfaces of the cells. And so it takes less power to do so. So it's going to consume less power from the battery than running microcurrent, but it's also not microcurrent. As Doc said, one thing is not going to get you there. The reason that Healy has variations is because it speaks to your body differently. Use them all. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So we gotta
go ahead.
Go ahead, Ken. Sorry.
No, so we're getting some questions here. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I missed one. Let's see. Toby's asking, is it a bracelet or a wristband? Yes. Show it there, Jake. You can see it again on his wrist. So there it is.
Yeah, and it's adjustable. It has little notches here that you can adjust along the way, and it's got a little holders there to keep the strap in place so it doesn't flop around there. And then, like I said, it's very easy to swap to a different band if you actually want to as well. You could have one for each day of the week if you want, different colors.
So the HighWave, guys, is not a Healy. It's what the Healy fits into. As you see, he's got the obsidian, and it shows the contrast, the black obsidian in the white fixture. The fixture is white. That's the HighWave itself. That's the hardware. And that does.
It's not like if I take this out, it's not, from the clip fits into this little slot here as well, which holds that in place. And then underneath there's the key part, which are the biocompatible electrodes, which are on the bottom too. So this is where it actually, the physical connection with your body too, which then delivers everything through it. So it's not, from this side, you might say, okay, it looks kind of like a coil. It's not. This is much more than a coil here too. And it's pretty substantial too when you feel it in person as well. Like this is a very solid device here too. But yeah, you slide your device basically. The clip goes into that slot right there, and then you just line it up and with the electrodes, and then you have your device, and then keep it tight on your wrist. You want to have a nice connection there too, but it's very simple to use. So,
You notice those metallic looking pads on the back side that Jake was showing? Those are stainless steel conductive pads.
Yeah.
And just as the coil does, you notice the two copper pins on the HighWave hardware. Those copper pins go into the ports where the leads would connect in your Healy and translate that output, the electron output, into electron output through the conversion process to make it at higher frequency, and then into the body through those stainless steel pads. So that's the hardware, I guess, of it. And yes, there are separate programs. There's 2 pages which come things around the mind and things around the cells. So there's the mind wave and the cell wave, two program groups that have different categories, those two different categories of programs that come with it.
But you can
Yeah,
use any
and
of the programs for, to run.
You can use,
Those are optimized for.
yeah, exactly.
correct.
Yeah.
You can use
Yeah,
all the Healy programs, all the IMF well, you can use all the programs with it. And so, but the ones that are designed and optimized just for the HighWave are those 2 pages.
Yeah, and I know the question, also mentioned, can you just walk away from your phone after you've done that too? Yeah, so it's
Same.
they're not, you will have the databases available in the Analyse 2 app, and then you'll also have the program groups available in the Healy 2 app. So you have them in both places, so you can vibrate those, but you can also run the programs. If you're vibrating the programs, it's got nothing to do with your HighWave. It's just your Healy itself. You don't have to hook up your HighWave and anything like that. But for running, say you're running a program with the Healy 2 app, you can start the program just like you can with any program in the Healy 2 app. Start the program, have it load, adjust the intensity, then you can close the app itself too, and it'll finish running the program, just like if you're using wristband electrodes or that kind of thing too. So you can do that if you want. You can start the program, disconnect it, leave your phone behind, and then it'll just continue to run that program as well.
To kind of expand on what's happening, let's look at what's kind of happening when you use the blue Heal Advisor app versus the pink Healy app. Let's look at what happens inside the circuitry of the Healy itself. When you're running the blue Heal Advisor app, it engages inside Healy. There is a frequency generator, and there's also a random noise generator system. So when you run just the blue app, it engages the frequency generator and it sends information into the field in terms of frequency. It does not engage the electron flow out of the ports, out of where the wires would connect. The pink app does both. You're actually engaged in sending the microcurrent. Well, it's sending electron flow. Let's go there, okay? It's sending electron flow out of the pins where the wires would connect, where the coil would connect, and now where the HighWave would connect. So now there's electron flow going out. Simultaneously, the frequency generator is also still engaged. Okay, so it's going into the atmosphere, but the effectiveness of the pink app is that electron flow. And now these other connective points are utilizing that electron flow to convert it in various ways. One is just straight electron flow into the body through the wristbands. Another is converting it into a magnetic frequency to emit out into free space. And then the third with the HighWave, converting it again in another way into the body in a higher frequency. So that's what's kind of happened inside. Let's see. So there's a question here about, see, Dory's asking about, are you still, should you still use the wristbands if you have the HighWave? Yes. I alternate these modalities, folks. You're not just, people love to drink water. Well, people drink more than just water, right? Tea's awesome, right? So
Or the
anyway,
way,
I want to throw in a comment, Ken, about that. That's important from a clinical point of view, which is the sicker the person, the more they need to have the microcurrent, because it's been shown and proven that microcurrent should be at negative 70 millivolts in a healthy person. But as one gets ill and one starts to become inflamed in their body, it starts to drop. And then when it gets down to about 15 millivolts, that's when tumors will begin in the body. So, for example, I happen to treat a lot of cancer patients in my practice. It's one of the things I've always done. I require anyone that comes in to see me to work with me with cancer that they purchase a Healy, and I have them use the microcurrent at least twice a day, because what I'm trying to do is raise that voltage up in their cells closer back up to 70 so that they function properly. And so in those conditions where people have real serious types of illnesses, I would say it's really important at least once a day to run the microcurrent for them, to give them that voltage. Because as I say in the presentations I do, the difference between an elite athlete and somebody in a hospital bed is how much voltage they have in their body. That's the main difference, is how much voltage that person is carrying. So you always want to keep that voltage up, especially if somebody is very ill.
We can measure vitality by that. That's called vitality, right? And what does, look at voltage and vitality start with the same letter, right? It's like vitality comes in voltage. There's a question here, Dory's asking about the wristbands. I want to address this because we've talked about this before, but we need to cover it again. And so it's to the point of the wristbands are giving me a rash. Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. Folks, these wristbands need to be cleaned. Okay, we need to clean the wristbands. And here's why. Because, I mean, your body sweats. Do you wash your clothes? Why do you wash your clothes? Because your body sweats. Same reason why you wash your bedding, because your body emits sweat, right? Emits fluid, emits oils, emits things out of it. It's cleansing itself. The pores of your skin are ways that it interfaces with the excretion system, as well as the touch to the outer world. Your skin is your biggest touch to the outer world. Okay, when you have something covering your skin, just do an experiment. Well, maybe I better not tell you to do this. Wrap saran wrap around your arm for a while and see what happens. It starts to sweat under there. There's no way for any moisture to escape. So same thing is happening with the wristbands. This is a conductive strip on the backside. The smooth, shiny side is a very conductive strip, but it does not allow air to flow through it. And so when you wear it, your body will naturally perspire under there, and it will collect salts and excretions from your body. And that creates a layer, a barrier of current flow. And when you have a barrier between the skin and some transmitter, this is a transmitter, folks, then you start getting arcing. Arcing is a lack of conductivity. And that lack of conductivity will irritate the skin cells because they're not able to express and allow and flow, and it will irritate them. And so you'll get this uncomfortable feeling and even a rash. And that's partially the dirt. That's also the microcurrent trying to do its job through the dirt. So let me tell you how to clean these. Super easy, guys. I use just to use a pH balanced dish soap or something, a light, very light amount. I put a little bit on my fingers, run my wristband under some warm water, and then I massage the wristband till it's a little bit sudsy, and then I rinse it off. And guess what? Shake it off, and now it's ready to put right on your body. Why? Because it's already wet, right? It's got great conductivity. Put it right on your body, and it's clean. Do that every week. Every week. I mean, we perspire, right? I'm very active. Trust me. I was out chopping wood, and I'm out moving things in my yard, doing yard work, and I'm wearing my wristbands, and I take my wristbands off, and I look like a farmer's tan. Everything is dirty except for where the wristbands were. Well, guess what? Where the other dirt went? It's on the wristband. So guys, if you're active, you're using it, clean them. No different than cleaning your body. Also, the other side of that equation, if you're putting a lot of solutions, lotions, whatever on your skin, and then putting the wristband over that, again, you're creating a barrier of electron flow, and it can irritate the skin. So clean it off. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yep.
Another option, Ken, that I found is helpful too, is using some form of an electrode gel.
Yeah.
There's an example here, if you can see in my screen, of an electrode gel you can purchase on Amazon. It also allows you to have better conductivity. So many people are dehydrated, and because of that, they have to keep cranking the intensity of
Yeah.
the dial up because they can't get a good connection, i.e., dehydration. And if you use an electrode gel, that will help if that's an issue for you in terms of making that contact a lot better.
Well, this is a quick example, folks. That's going to give another indication of dehydration, but let me tell you something on the physical side of dehydration. Simply 3% dehydration in the body equates to over 10% loss of muscle strength. So if you're feeling tired and no energy, go to your hydration, drink some water, because you can increase your strength by 10% just by fixing your dehydration issues. And that's, as Doc said, it's also going to influence whether anything flows through your body, information, not just the electron flow or microcurrent, but information. This is communications between the brain and the muscle. How many of you guys ever got cramps? Guess why? Right? Electrolytes and dehydration. Okay. So I'm just giving you a little heads up. It'll help not just the conduction of the Healy, but also how you feel. Jake, are we ready for another question?
Yeah, I can't believe that it's almost been a whole hour now. We still have 2 giveaways to do. So how about we, I think we've pretty much been caught up on the questions here, right? For the most part. So let's finish the call with 2 giveaways. How about that? So let me go back here. I'll share my screen again and get ready to type as well. We got some. This next question here is actually one that similar to one we've done before. We've done this a few times on this call. As far as this goes home, let me pull my chat back up here, which is missing. Okay, now I can see. Okay, so the question is, in 2025, how many questions have we answered on all the Tech Tip Tuesdays combined? So again, 30 seconds. Go ahead and put your answers into the chat here. I'll give you a hint. It's more than the answer to the last question. So the last question was 150. The answer was 154. So it's somewhere above that. That's all I will tell you.
There we go. And let's see, let's do a little math. We have 154 sessions.
300, 250, nice, 375, 1700.
1700, right on.
We got some work to do, Ken.
Let's get busy answering questions.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do 10 more seconds here. Another one's coming in. I do know we have a couple people that are very close to the answer here. Okay, 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Answer is 319. Okay, so who is our winner? Is it Claire again? Did Claire win again?
Claire, did you get in there under the wire? Just
wow. Well, no, because Claire originally she answered 300 first.
300
early.
First, so even that one is pretty
that's
close.
Still the winner, I believe.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
The first guess of 300 is the winner from what I can see here.
Yeah.
So and this is funny. I was just chatting with Claire because she wants the lanyard case, but she also wants the crossbody. And now you solved it already. So yes, you can have one of each actually as well. So very, very cool. That all worked out. You think you put that out there into the universe, and now you have both. So perfect. Okay, so last one, and this is a big number. I'll tell you that. And okay, how many Healy sessions? So we're talking running a program, say in the Healy 2 app, or doing an analysis in the Analyse 2 app, have been utilized globally as of December 2024. So as of the end of last year, how many of these sessions have been run globally? And I I actually do not have the exact number, but so anyway, we'll see. Put your answer into the chat here. It's a pretty big number, definitely bigger than 154 or 319 for sure,
Now
as well. So
look at that. Now look at that, folks. It's programs and analysis, not just
exactly.
that's both the pink and the blue, guys.
Yeah. So we got 345,000, 50 million, 780,000, 200 million, 500 million. What else we got? We got 100 million. And let's see here, 23 million, 10 million.
Nice. Good
Okay.
numbers.
We got some really good guesses in here. 560,888, 700 million,
18.5.
18.5 million. Okay, 5 more seconds here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, not
There it
an
comes.
exact answer, but over 100 million. And I think Doc Steve said 100 million. So that's the
100
closest one
million.
for there too. So Doc Steve, you'll need to let me know what you would like. If you want one of the lanyard cases, pink or blue, a Healy crossbody bag, or I think you have all the program groups or modules already. But if you don't, just let me know what you want. Send me a message later, and we'll make sure we get it over to you as well. So,
That's
all
awesome.
right.
Wow. Wow. I mean, now think about that. 100 million programs, people. That means that at least half of that. I mean, even if to say that's only half, 50 million people have a Healy, right? And they're running 2 programs. But still, that's a lot of people that Healy's helping, isn't it? That's
There's
lot.
a lot going on there. I think the original goal was a Healy in every household, or 1 million households, or
1 million households.
whatever. Yeah, we're
There's-
well on the way there. Thank you, Doc Steve. Yeah, we'll be in touch. Appreciate all your help there. He's got to go. But yeah, again, that wasn't an exact number. It's actually well beyond that now as we moved into 2025. And yeah, soon, maybe next year after, maybe we'll be saying the answer is 1 billion sessions here too, which will be
That's awesome.
amazing. So yeah, Doc Steve. Yeah, Laura had a very good guess at 120 million, but Doc Steve had exactly 100 million listed there too, as well. So yeah, I think that's it,
great.
right?
What a fun episode, you guys. I mean, thanks everybody for joining in. I'm super glad y'all were here. The participation of the audience is why we're here. If there's no audience, there's no us. So guys, get out there, tell people about what you've learned, share the awesomeness of Tech Tip Tuesday, and invite a guest, invite people. I'm sure that they may even have a question they haven't even thought of yet, but it gets stimulated by someone else's. That usually happens. All right, guys. I think we're done, right? We got everything that we need to do.
This was a lot of fun. We'll, of course, catch us next Tuesday for Tech Tip Tuesday. And the plan is we started this end of last year, this sort of celebration, and we're doing this on a quarterly basis from now on. So we'll do the next one sometime in the fall, and then of course one to wrap up the year 2025, and which I'm sure will be here before you know it. Just time's just going crazy. So
we're already flying through July.
Yeah. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. It was good to be back and good to have you all here, and lots more to come. There are next few weeks and months.
All right. Thanks, guys. Hey, congratulations, Claire. Congratulations, Doc Steve. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Henry. We'll see you guys next week. If you want to save the chat, if there's some useful stuff in there, click the 3 little dots at the top of your chat box at the end of the call.
Join us for Healy Solutions tonight. I almost forgot. We have another great episode of Healy Solutions focusing on support for stress and anxiety at 7:30 p.m. Eastern tonight. If you need the link to join, you can just go to our Healy events calendar at HealyAmericasEvents.com. You don't need to register. You just click on the link. You'll go right into the meeting at 7:30 Eastern tonight.
And who doesn't know somebody with anxiety issues, right? I mean, come on. All right, guys. Thanks a bunch, you guys. We'll see you next week. Have a good day. Bye, y'all.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Take care.